So good morning everyone. Our lesson for today are chants and sensory images or imagery. So if you have opened your module, as you can see here, we have the chants Where is the Rain and the chants Lions Roar. Now, these are African chants. But first, by definition, what are chants? Chants are short passages recited or sung repeatedly to simple melodies using only a few notes. Now, if you have, you will be reading these two chants, African chants, and you will be answering the comprehension questions. Now, in the comprehension questions, you will be asked to identify which sensory image is being pertained. So, therefore, let's talk about sensory images. Nagre-record ako. Nandito Sir Klimba at Sir Luya. Mamaya kita niyo dyan. Nagre-record ako. Recording na lang ako. Yeah. Okay. So, we have 6 sensory images. Or 6 senses, to be precise. So, first of course, is sense of sight. Nagre-record ako.
Pero naka-video yun. Oo, inaabala niya.
Sense of sight or visual, it appeals to, of course, your eyes. Sense of sound or auditory appeals to your ears. Sense of smell or olfactory appeals to your nose. And sense of touch or tactile appeals to your, of course, your hands. Sense of taste or gustatory appeals to your tongue, and motion, which appeals to the scene of seeing, except that the line contains another dimension or movement. So using a good writer using words may give some descriptions, some good adjectives in order to very colorfully or vividly create a mental image, in which that is what we call a mental picture. So a mental picture created in the mind of the reader as he or she assimilates the language of the author. So imagery is basically the use of language or a method of writing by which the author uses ordinary words to create an image. For example, let's say I have a very wonderful knife. So how can I create a sentence in which you can easily imagine what kind of knife that is? So I have here a knife, a golden shining knife. So with that sentence, you can easily imagine that the knife that I am holding is colored gold or made out of gold, and it is sparkling or shining. So here are some exercises or some example sentences that shows sensory imagery or images. So first is the flickering fireflies. So with that word or with that sentence, we can easily imagine that the fireflies are flickering, or their lights are going in and out like flicker. Next is the squeak of spinning wheels. So we have their sense of hearing. We are trying to imagine the spinning wheels. While they're spinning, they're making squeaking sounds. The piercing rays of the noonday sun. So with that, the piercing rays. So if you, unless you haven't been hit by the sun, the sunshine of the sun directly, you won't be able to imagine this. But for most of us, we can easily imagine how hot or what is the feeling of walking under the sun, especially during lunchtime or the noonday sun. A host of golden daffodils. So you can easily imagine some daffodils, some yellow-like daffodils in front of you. Splashing silver seas. The baby's breath was warm on my face. So you can easily imagine what kind of feeling is that. Or maybe you can even add some smell or olfactory. The baby's breath was warm on my face, yet it smells like rotten eggs. See? So apple blossoms filled the air. So with that, apple blossoms filled the air, it pertains to your sense of smell. Okay. So in your modules, there we go. You will be writing down some of the lines or stanzas from the chants or poems that pertains to sensory imagery. What are they talking about? And what kind of sense did they use? As well as there is another activity on imagery as well. Okay, so our lesson will be, the lesson about the first module will be chopped up into different videos. So I hope you understand what is imagery, and basically you're just going to read about chants, about some African chants, and therefore we don't need to have a long video. So if you have any questions about imagery, feel free to ask. And goodbye. Okay.